Hello everyone, my name is Sarah and welcome to my Whatever Cast, where I talk about whatever I want. I am the dyer, the designer, the crocheter, the knitter. I am all the things behind denim and right here. And today I think I'm going to start with something random that is not really yarny related-ish, sort of. Last week I launched a collection of paintings of sheep. And these paintings, these little sheep, are inspired by hand-dyed yarn. And so I went on Instagram and I found all these gorgeous colorways that indie dyers had done, and I thought, wouldn't these be great? Because I already have sheep of my own colorways that I've done for fun. And I thought, how awesome would this be to do more sheep, but in other people's colorways? So it's a fun way for me to play with color when I'm painting, and a really great way to do shout outs to other artists and makers and indie dyers and stuff. So I launched a collection of these. I didn't paint a ton. Well, to me it was a ton. I painted 9 sheep, and there was a couple of llamas in that mix. They sold out in 15 minutes. I was blown away. I had no words. I did not realize people were that interested in them. Now I am. I don't know if that's how future launches of paintings will go, if they'll really sell out that fast. But I have people messaging me, oh, I missed it and stuff. So I'm going to try to paint some more. I did run out of watercolor paper. I went to the store this morning. Did they have watercolor paper? No. So I have to drive to a whole nother city. Well, I drove to a whole nother city to get the watercolor paper, and they didn't have any, so I have to go the opposite direction to go see if another city has it. Because it's actually way more expensive on Amazon. Don't know why. And plus, they don't have, it's not a Prime item. So that means I have to pay for the shipping and wait twice as long to get it. Do I want to do that? Nope, I don't really want to do that. So I am planning on doing some more sheep paintings, and the launch of that is to be determined. I'm not really sure yet. I would like to do this weekend, but that depends on if I can get watercolor paper or not. Because if I can't, then no more sheep. But yeah, so this is actually one I did in my Pacific Coral colorway, and it's funny because I actually painted this a little darker than my actual Pacific Coral colorway, and then I had some fun dyeing some sock yarn, and I did a self-striping, which I've done before, and I've showed you guys my self-striping socks. They're worsted weight ones, but I did a fingering weight self-striping yarn. And this is Pacific Coral. However, the colors are darker than my normal Pacific Coral. So the coral is a little bit darker of a corally orange, and then the blue is a darker blue than normal. Still stunning though. But look at how perfect this sheep and yarn are together. So I'm going to sell this yarn, and I'm going to include a free painting along with this self-striping yarn. It's probably going to be a skinny stripe because I don't have the really cool warp boards that self-striping dyers have. I probably will in the future because self-striping is super fun to dye. It's a pain in the butt though, not gonna lie. After I did this one, I did do another batch, and the other Pacific Coral, I did another one in Pacific Coral, and it is a little bit lighter, not as light as my original, but I was still playing with it, and I was honestly paying more attention to the technique than I was my dye colors. So yeah, it was interesting. I set up 2 chairs. I set one up in my living room, and then I set one down in my hallway, because the first one I did it in my kitchen. That was not long enough. So I did it in the living room all the way down my hallway to like the bedroom doors. It was definitely longer, and oh my gosh, it got so tangled. I very carefully wrapped it up so like just perfectly, and I set it in the bin to soak. Did I carefully pull it out of the soaking bin? No. I pulled it out all haphazard and yarn got tangled everywhere. I spent probably a half an hour, if not longer, untangling yarn. And I had yarn everywhere strung all over the place so it wouldn't get tangled again. I had one end going this way and then another end going that way, and I had all the little in-between bits. Oh, so stressed out. I don't like things getting tangled. It gives me like severe anxiety. That was not fun. Once I got it dyed and everything, it worked beautifully. I know I just need to ball it up, but I have to put the chairs back up so I can treat that like my, what are they called? The ball, they're not ball winders, the little umbrella spinny things. I totally just drew a blank on what they're called. But I'm treating the chairs like one of those, and then I walk back and forth, back and forth. There's probably an easier way to do it. Probably, but I'm playing around with it, so I'm not super concerned about how I'm doing it right now. I will get better at it and fix it in the future if it's something that people are interested in. If these balls of self-striping sit in my shop forever and ever and ever, which I hope they don't. I don't think they will. I think they're pretty cool. But if they sit there forever and ever, I'm not about to spend all that time making things that people don't like. But anyways, moving on. I have a couple of finished things to show you. First thing is a cowl that I finished. Well, cowl infinity scarf, whatever you want to call it. It loops around twice. But this is something you have not seen because it was a super quick cast on one night, cast it on the next, cast it off, bind it off the next night. So I love it. It's super cozy. Of course, it's like nearing the end of cold weather, but I've already gotten a couple of wears out of it because our weather is all over the place. One day it's gorgeous and sunny and you're roasting. Today I was wearing a t-shirt and jeans and I was so comfortable. Tomorrow I could be freezing my butt off and like wearing sweaters and all the things and still be cold. So yeah. You never know here in Western Washington what you're gonna need. So we usually come prepared and have all the things. We dress in layers. Next thing I have is my sweater. You'll have seen this on Instagram if you follow me, which if you see me here, you probably follow me on Instagram because let's be honest, the only people who watch this are people who already know me as of right now. Probably always, but anyways, this is my Molly Tweep sweater. It is a worsted weight raglan that is so comfy. It has a gorgeous, simple detail that goes down the undersides of the sleeves, and not just one sleeve. A detail down one sleeve, not the other, and then down the sides of the body. Oh, it's so wonderful. And I did twisted rib on all the things. So this neck hole looks super tiny, but oh my gosh, it stretches so much, which makes it really nice and comfy. And then on the bottom of the sleeves and the body, I did a tubular bind off, which I've never done before. And so I thought I'd challenge myself to try something new, and I love it. It's like this gorgeous invisible edge, just like a waterfall. It's so good. I mean, it's not perfect because this is my first time ever trying this technique, but it turned out very nice. I'm very happy with it. I kind of wish I had done a tubular bind on, cast on, cast off. Apparently I can't speak knitting lingo today. I wish I had done a tubular cast on, but I didn't. Which is fine. I didn't realize I was going to do that until I got to the end and I was not about to rip back to do that. It looks fine. It looks fine. It doesn't need it. But this pattern is out for testing right now. I did see an email come through from one of my pattern testers. I've not looked at it yet. I went to the dentist this morning and had a million phone calls and text messages and emails while I was in there, and I just got rid of them all. I was like, I'm gonna deal with all this later. 'Cause I don't like the dentist and I was stressed and I had to go somewhere and do something else, which I'll talk about later. But I was just like, I'm not dealing with it right now, I can't handle it. Especially if there's a million things I did wrong in the pattern. That seriously stresses me out, you guys. Writing patterns and then finding out you've done something wrong. I mean, I want to know I've done something wrong because I want very clear and like easy to follow patterns. But I don't like it when I do things wrong, so I get a little stressed out. But unnecessarily stressed out. Hey, whatever. Malway Tweep sweater coming soon. I am hoping to have all the feedback by not next week, but the following week, and hopefully have it released. It is a super quick, easy, and fun pattern. All of my patterns, I hope, are really simple, but offer little details and techniques to challenge you, or something you haven't tried, or maybe just make the pattern more interesting. So like with this one, the more interesting part is the detail down the sides. Because otherwise this would be a boring raglan, which there's nothing wrong with. I love a good toss-on boring sweater. So yeah, that's what it is, and that's what I made. I love it. Next, I have some works in progress. Which to show you first? I actually forgot one, to grab one too. I'm gonna put a hold on this. I will be right back. I left and I came back and you didn't even know it. Editing magic. Anyways, so first work in progress I'm going to show you is my biggest, and it's my scrappy blanket. And funny thing about this one is things over, everybody. I shared a photo of this on my Instagram, and honestly, I didn't think I'd get very many likes on it. I mean, it's just a scrappy blanket, but holy cow, people were very interested in the scrappy blanket. And it's nothing fancy either. It's just a garter stitch. That is it. So I've doubled this in size since last time I showed you. Last time I was, find my stitch marker. There he is. I was here at C3PO, and okay, I've done all of that. Oh, it's so big. So yeah, I'm very happy with it. It's a big, cozy, ugly blanket made up of all my scraps. Some people were saying, oh, yours is so much prettier than scrappy blankets I've done. I mean, I guess it's, some people would call this pretty. I don't think it's particularly pretty. It's just, like I said, it's just a scrappy blanket. But I'd use a lot of neutrals, so they tend to go really good together. And then I just have a couple of colors, like my mustards, and then I have the burgundy and like one pink and a little blue. And there's so much neutral in between them that there's not a whole lot of clashing going on. So, but even if they were, I'm not really making this blanket to be cute. It's more to be comfortable and cozy. And I'm about over halfway done with this ball. And then I did just make a new one. And I just found a whole bunch more scraps, so I decided why not just go ahead and start balling these up. I had a bunch of people asking me how I do it, if I sew in all my ends or what I do. I do not sew in ends. It would never get finished. I hate sewing in ends, you guys. I'm not gonna lie. It was a miracle. Actually, my Malway Tweep sweater, I finished the body in one sleeve, and then I told myself I wasn't going to finish the other sleeve until I had written the pattern. I actually sewed in all of the ends. When I finished the body in the first sleeve, It was amazing. So when I finished that last sleeve, I only had 2 ends to sew in. It was heaven. But needless to say, I don't sew in ends. I do the magic knot, and honestly, if at any point in time one of them comes undone, I can just sew it and fix it and patch it. Again, it's not a project I'm overly concerned about. It's a scrappy blanket. So yeah, there's that. It's super fun, and it's going to be so cozy and something I'm just going to love forever and ever. The next thing is also a blanket. I've showed this, I can't remember if last time or the time before, but I'm working on a granny square blanket with all of my fingering scraps and mini skeins that I test dye on, because I don't like to test dye on full skeins. It's much cheaper to test dye on mini skeins. Also, I'm sorry I'm losing the light. I'm doing this kind of late, and the light is slowly going behind the trees. So yeah. Oh well. My lighting is never very great because I don't own lighting. And I don't have enough people who watch this to make it worth it. And if a whole bunch of people start watching, I'll invest in a light. But till then, unless somebody wants to send me a light and I'll have amazing lighting. Nobody wants to do that. Anyways, so last time I think I had 5 squares. I had these guys. I had a couple of green, my tonal speckly green, and then a speckled blue and black one. And then this time I have a fun speckled that is green, blue, and brown, which when I dyed it I thought it was butt ugly. And then I saw it again, I pulled it back out, and as I was winding it up into a ball, I was like, I actually really like this. I kind of want to dye a full skein of it. And then I crocheted with it, and I was like, oh, it's kind of cute. Then I have this pretty maroony, mauve, pinky, I don't even know what it is. It was a mix of dyes. It turned out to something. And then if you followed, of course we already talked about following me on Instagram. You probably already followed me on Instagram. If you did, the last photo I posted was some yarn I test dyed, and it has like all these really pretty colors in it. Well, then I over dyed it with like a grayish brown, a very light grayish brown. And this is kind of what it came out with. So it's a little more subtle in the colors. I don't know how well it's showing up on the screen. But it has all those colors with like a faded look to it. And then I had just a tiny bit of that mauve-y stuff, so I did a center. Focus! No, it doesn't want to look at that square. That's fine. It's this one and this one had a baby. They went and had a baby. Anyways, so yeah, every now and then I think I'm gonna make some squares. So I made a bunch of squares the other night. I have to be in a mood to do granny squares though. I get bored, and plus I can't crochet for very long. It's actually really hard on my wrists and my fingers. Knitting is a lot easier for me. I'm really glad that I started. Next is actually another crochet project. We went from blankets to crochet blanket. Now we're segueing into another crochet thing. It's like I planned this. This is going to be a shawl scarf shawl, whatever you want to call it. I don't wear shawls. I don't wear like shawls like this. I mean, some people do, and that's fantastic. If you like that, kudos to you. I think they look grandma-y. That's just what I think. Now, I do like to wear them as scarves, so I will be wearing it more like this. And I don't like triangles, guys. I did make an asymmetric shawl scarf one time. My plant is falling over. Hold on just a second here. Okay. What was I saying? Oh, I made an asymmetric scarf shawl thing. I put it on and I hated it. I didn't like the way it looked on me. So I like rectangles. Giant, long rectangles. So that's what I'm doing. A beautiful, long rectangle that will be a scarf and you can wear it as a shawl. And this is just a nice simple crochet stitch with some bobbles. Because I guess bobbles are in. Side note, I've always loved bobbles. Even before bobbles were apparently in. So yeah. And this is crocheted out of, hello, Lion Brand cotton jeans. Not the acrylic jeans, but the cotton one. And I do not know the colors. Don't ask me. If I remember, I will put them below with the link. Because I will put links about everything I talk about. Because I like to do that. So you guys aren't wondering, huh, I wonder where she found that. So yeah, cotton jeans. It's pretty soft. I got the light blue one from my fiber share partner, and then I decided to order the dark blue, and they look really great together. And I can't wait to wear that scarf. That pattern I'm currently working on writing up the graph for, and then I will start to work on the actual written part for that. Next is another shawl. See, we're just pulling all the segues today. So again, scarf shawl. I will wear this as a scarf. This is my Longbourn shawl. It will be called a shawl. Yes. And I am currently reading Pride and Prejudice for, I don't even know how many times I've read it, lots of times. I've also watched the movies a ton. I love both the BBC and the Hollywood version. I love the BBC one because it's more accurate to the book, let's be honest. But the Hollywood one, I love the actors and the music. So I wish they would just all be in the BBC, like all the actors and the music would be in the BBC one, and we'd have the perfect movie. It would be my favorite in the entire world. Anyways, Longbourn, place where the Bennets live. This is like one of these pieces I just imagine it sits on a chair and like any of the Miss Bennets will just come along and put it on. So this is my largest fingering weight project I've ever taken on, not including one I was watching for that I will show you. But this has a really pretty lace on it that is obviously not blocked and looks weird and bunchy and not like lace. And then it fades into a really pretty color that is my rose, autumn rose color, which was a one of a kind. And then this is Explore Knits and Fibers in her Orange Blossom colorway. And it's so pretty, and it's going to just wrap around and be big and cozy. I do have, I don't know if it's still here. Ah, it is here. I will have a third color. I'm just like, keep getting all up close and cozy with my camera. It will go into the gray, and the gray will be the middle, a bigger middle section, and then it will go back to the autumn rose, and then back to Orange Blossom. And then this one is just a really pretty gray with the orange in it as speckles. This, I believe, is Aspens in Fall. I'm like almost 100% positive that's what that colorway is. So yeah, it's really pretty. I am loving it. I can't wait until it's finished. It's going to take me a while. I'm hoping I can have this pattern released in fall, because these are like the perfect fall colors, and I think people will be more interested in knitting it around then anyways. So by the time I finish this, it'll probably be fall. So I will probably write the pattern before then and have it tested, because I probably don't need to finish this whole thing to have it tested. So yeah, that's that one. Next is my socks. These are my Hermione Everyday socks, and in my Woolberry Fiber Company yarn, in the Farmer's Market colorway. And I've come quite a ways since last time I showed. Last time, if my camera focuses, it doesn't, there it goes. I was like here-ish somewhere. And I have since done the heel and about, I would just say, a little over a third of the foot-ish, something like that. Yeah, I am thoroughly happy with how they are turning out for my first ever fingering weight socks. And I'm pretty sure I already said this. I think I said this when I pulled them out, but they're the Hermione Everyday Socks, which is a free pattern on Ravelry. It is wonderful and pretty easy to follow. And yeah, I love them. And oh, I forgot to mention, I'll show it later. I'm gonna get myself all out of order and stress myself out. I don't stress about it. Never mind, I'm not stressing. Just get myself all mixed up. Anyways, this is not really a work in progress yet, but this is something I was swatching for. I'm swatching! Only because it's a big project and it's in fingering weight yarn. If I were knitting this in a worsted weight, I wouldn't bother. But it's fingering. It's gonna take me a while. So I'm swatching. I mean, my swatches and what I actually knit a project out of ends up being totally different anyways, but at least I can get a general idea. So this is actually in collaboration with Naked Yarns. I reached out to them. I had an idea of creating a sweater from start to finish, from dyeing the yarn to designing a sweater to knitting it up and then having a pattern. They loved the idea, so they sent me some yarn and I dyed it up, and this is what I came up with. I wanted something for like fall, and I just love this color, you guys. It's not really showing up very good because there, kind of reflect back on it a little. There's so many shadows and stuff. It's not showing up super great, but it's a burgundy brown. I dye, oh my gosh. Camera, focus. No, I give up. First I dyed the, we're gonna call it wine because it looks like wine to me. I dyed this wine color and then I put in pops of mustard and green, and then I over dyed it with more of the wine color. And so there's like just these little bits of greens and mustards that show through, which is so fun, and I'm really excited. You can kind of see here maybe some of that mustard color showing through. I was inspired by a photo of these cut and like dried roses, and I was like, I love this, it's so pretty. And I had a sweater design in mind when I got the yarn, but then I dyed it and I was like, no, I have a different idea for you. And so what I'm gonna do is a kind of like a boxy. This is kind of my idea that I have. It's gonna have long sleeves. It's gonna be a little bit shorter, but on the sides there's going to be a detail, not under the sleeves, but like down the sides of it, like on the shoulders and down. And I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a bottom up. And oh, I'm just so excited about this, you guys. So here's my little gauge swatch. I guess you probably see the color a little better on this. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm gonna lose my mind. Okay, there it is. Ah. So I'm kind of playing with different textures. I'm like literally just going up and up and up, and every time I'm like adding a different texture on the side to see what I like. And I haven't found one I'm 100% set on. I've done a few so far. But I love I love the way that this color came out. It's not something I usually dye. I usually go for, you know, the blues and then the lighter colors. This is very rich and moody, but I really like it. And this, again, I like, once I dyed it, a design popped in my head and I was like, no, I'm not making that other thing. I want to do this. And so yeah, I'm very excited about it. Cannot wait to actually fully cast on, because I don't have a sweater currently cast on. We must remedy this. I do have another sweater I am currently also planning on. I will probably have 2 going on this time around, because the other one is a worsted weight sweater. It will be very similar to my failed Uber sweater, which was the velvet one. It's going to be that bottom up with the scoop, but it will have a textured front, like a textured body. I like to have, like I said, a detail or something in a sweater. The detail of the velvet sweater was the velvet, but the velvet yarn, after working with it, I realized it is not suitable for a garment. That's why I decided not to write the pattern for it and to scrap it. So this one, I'm going to basically design almost the same, but instead of a bulky weight, it will be in a worsted, and it will have a detail on just the front of the body, and then the back and the arms will probably just be a stockinette, I'm thinking. So we'll see how that turns out. I picked out a really pretty like navy blue, and that one is just Caron Simply Soft, same as what my Malway Tweep sweater is knit out of. It's really good acrylic yarn. I would love to work all my sweaters in indie dyed yarn, however that is not always in my budget. I am extremely blessed and very excited to be working with this yarn company to be able to hand dye my own yarn and knit it into a sweater, and I cannot wait to start sharing pictures with them. So yeah, but otherwise most of my stuff is commercial yarn because it is what is in my budget. So yeah. But I think I showed you everything I was working on. I do have a couple of things that I purchased that I wanted to show you. One of them I didn't show you while I was actually holding up the project, but I bought a couple of stitch markers, just flipped over so you can't see it, that are books. Is my camera gonna focus on it? Absolutely not. There it goes. Now you have the reflection. There, you maybe see it. This is a little book. It's Pride and Prejudice. And then I also have the Sense and Sensibility and Emma. I do not remember the name of the shop. I will link all of these things down below with the shop names, with the product. That way you can see. I'm terrible with names, so I inevitably forget. The next shop I ordered from, I got some more little stitch markers. This is Little Chip in a little clay stitch marker, and then the next one is a little grape soda bottle cap, which is from the Disney Pixar movie Up, which, funny, well, it's not a funny story, just a story. My husband and I actually had that song at our wedding. We played that one when the bridesmaids walked down the aisle, and that was actually our first date. We weren't allowed to date until we were 18, so we courted, and we went on a group date when we were 17 with some friends, and we went and saw that movie, at which we held hands for the first time. Shh. And we're such troublemakers. Oh my goodness. Anyways, the next thing I got was this stunning crochet hook. This crochet hook is made out of olive wood and is hand turned, and I got this from an Etsy shop called Unraveled Ewe, like as in the sheep, so EWE. The craftsmanship on this is amazing. It's gorgeous. It's so smooth in your hand. I love it. It is a hair shorter than I think I would like it to be, but you could, I believe they either have custom listings or you can contact them to custom customize your length, because it is like just a hair short. So every now and then my hand sloughs off to the end, but honestly, most of the time my hand is up where it belongs. It's not the end of the world. I love it. But just something to be aware of if you're interested in it. So yeah, those are the things I had to share with you today. I feel like there was something I also was going to talk about. I don't remember. Oh, I do remember actually. So today my sister and I went to our town. We live in a like small town. There's like an old part of town and then a new part. In the old part there's like the first street. It's covered in a whole bunch of old like buildings, and they have shops from everything from antiques to handmade things. And there's a plant store, which love my plants. We went down there because my sister and my brother-in-law do woodworking. He does the woodworking, she does the finishing and stuff. And they do like plant holders and all these cool shelves and stuff. And the last time we were in there, she spoke with them about, hey, would you be interested in maybe having some of my stuff sold in your shop? So she set up a meeting with them today, and I went with, and she ended up, the gal who owns the place ended up purchasing a whole bunch of stuff wholesale from my sister. And then she also put in a wholesale order for me for some of my plant hangers, my macrame ones. So that's super cool. I'm very excited about that. So I actually already had some macrame coming in the mail along with some rings, so I will be working on a bunch of those. So probably next time I will show you some of that. But yeah, this is my second time recording. I recorded a video last week, but my husband was home and he was like, he wasn't really listening, but he was in the other room, and I was very self-conscious of him listening to me and judging me. Not that he just judging me in a mean way or anything, but I was very self-conscious. So I was talking like this, and I couldn't hear anything on the video. I was like, this ain't gonna work. Nobody is going to want to watch me whispering at a camera. So I did that last week. So here I'm a week later, but I had more knitting this time around, so it's fine. It's all good. Anyways, that's all I had to say. I will see you next time. If you're interested, make sure you check out all the links below. I have my Instagram, my Facebook, my Etsy, my Ravelry, all the things down there. And if you actually enjoyed listening to me ramble on like a crazy person on my whatever cast, hit subscribe. That'd be cool. Just saying. And that's it. Have a lovely day.